Hello everyone, welcome back to PSGL F3. Apologies for the slight connection issues. I am hoping that they have been fixed now. And we look like we have come back at perhaps just the right time. They are finishing their formation lap at this moment in time. And hopefully we're going to have an absolutely fantastic race. It is M Short on pole position. Lorenz alongside him. Let's get ready for the first race then of the season. Who is going to be victorious around the Albert Park circuit? We will find out in around 29 laps time. McLaren and Williams on the front row. It is just like the golden era of F1 in the 90s. Who will be victorious here today? Then we are waiting for the lights to come on then around this Albert Park circuit. The drivers have been waiting in pre-season to get this underway. We've got 5 lights and the action is underway. Lakitu there with a jump start straight away. A nightmare from him. Great start though from M Short at the front of the grid. One of the Alpha Tauris trying to force his way down the inside of the Williams as well. That'll be Shapalele trying to get a good move into turn 1. Don't think it has quite worked out for him this time around. So it's M Short still in the lead. We've got the Williams there behind of Lorenz. Name changer trying to shoot his way down the inside there. That's not gone well. There's a Renault off in the gravel trap behind. I believe that is BRT Faz, who's just gone off circuit there. But a fantastic start then from the pole sitter. M Short has absolutely flown away on this first lap so far. Partly, in fact, Sam, just to the battling going on behind between Lorenz, Name Changer, and Shapalele.
Brilliant start from M Short. It reminds me of Lewis Hamilton every single time because he always flies away from the rest of the grid. He's got a brilliant start, and Shapalele may have been the fortune of that really, because all these guys are squabbling behind. Lorenz wasn't able to get a good exit at turn 1. Shapalele was on the inside. I think Name Changer was in there as well, and this just hasn't helped their race out at the moment. It is only lap 1 though. We just started the race, but what a start for M Short. Brilliant getaway, brilliant first corner, and well, like I said, he's been able to fly typically because everyone else was just squabbling for position behind. And looking towards the back as well, there was a lot of squabbling going on, a few gaps starting to already open up, but it looks like M Short has got the best start he would have hoped for.
Yes, he has, and already flying away. Black Phoenix, an early man then to come into the pits in the McLaren. So well, as one McLaren has had a fantastic start, the other's had a nightmare. We've got 4 drivers coming into the pits for Lakitu. That will be to serve his drive-through penalty. So thankfully for him, he doesn't have any damage, but not the start he'd have wanted. He'd have been hoping, of course, to be near the front of the field this season. But like you said, a fantastic start from M Short. He's already got more than a second gap to the car behind, which is so crucial, of course, because you need the DRS. If you're within 1 second of the car in front, you get the DRS, and around this circuit, not very easy at all to overtake if you don't have that. Hard tyres on then for Phoenix and for Pat, so they will be carrying on now, you'd expect, until the end of the race. But don't be surprised if we do get safety cars, if we do get virtual safety cars. They have been quite a common theme amongst some of the lower tiers so far, and it's been a good start as well. All those outside for top 10, unsurprisingly, going for a harder set of tyres, going for the mediums or for the hard tyres, because it'll be a one-stop anyway. Softs to hards is what we'd expect, but it's a lot more comfortable of a one-stop if you're starting on the medium tyres. And the man who won last time around, Flying Finn, he's the lead car on those mediums.
Well, he'd be looking right now in a very comfortable position in 10th place, to be happy that a bunch of guys behind him obviously having a little bit of a squabble. Only made up that one position though, really, in terms of compared to where he wants to be. Made up 2 positions, so he's made up a position on someone else as well. But he'd really enjoy this position right now. He'd want to close in on Faz, but he does realise that those tyres are much slower than the Brazilian ahead of him has on the soft tyres. But those soft tyres will go off very quickly. I know around this track, the soft tyres do not last forever like the mediums do. In the hards, well, they can last the whole race, I believe. So really for Black Phoenix, although he had to pit, if he does show good pace on those hards, he could be somewhat in for, I suppose, some points, but I don't reckon no more than that. But look at M Short, he is flying. What a start to the season he is having at the moment. 1.7 seconds clear almost, now 1.7 seconds. It's just dwindling between that and, well, we know about McLaren dominance, don't we? And personally, I wouldn't love to see it again, but M Short is just showing brilliant pace at the moment.
Yeah, I somehow doubt we're going to get anywhere near the, was it 10 wins that Carlsberg got last season from the 13 races that he competed in. But M Short definitely throwing down a marker at this moment in time. Lorenz does seem to have caught him ever so slightly over that lap. Both Mercedes looking in a good position as well, 5th and 8th at the moment as we go on board with Joey in that Mercedes. This is what we're on about though, they're all just stuck in the DRS train, and it is going to be incredibly hard for us to see any overtakes. Likewise, it is further down the field. You've got Lars, Zach and Ginger, all familiar to each other, all raced with each other in F3, and just following each other around on those medium tyres in single file at this moment in time. Fantastic start, as you said, from M Short. We've only seen one time penalty at the moment, and that is Shapalele, who's got a penalty for multiple warnings. So won't want to pick up too many of them, and if there's a late safety car, that can really ruin your race. I've seen that happen in some of the lower formulas. It happened to me in F11, and I was able to benefit from that. If there's a late safety car and you've got a lot of penalties, Lars and Shapalele could be in trouble towards the end.
Yeah, and Lars, it's not what he wanted to do, was it? The fact that obviously, kind of like the irony, he's in a good position here to potentially get a really good result here. And we saw this last season as well on multiple occasions. His results have kind of actually been down to him getting penalties, which has dropped him down the field. And Lars really needs to make sure he keeps control of that. But he's not the only one getting them now. Seb Vet's just got one, Gonanen's got one as well. So a lot of drivers are going to start getting penalties now. And this is a track that you do see a lot of warnings and penalties dished out. So just one penalty will not make everything. And crucially, look at that. Lorenz, who was closing down M Short, not made too much progress. He's now got a penalty as well. So at the moment, M Short is absolutely flying away from this. And now that Lorenz has a penalty, he'd be feeling quite comfortable just to sit back a little bit and relax.
Yes, he will. Obviously now, with the latest update, 1.13, all the drivers can see the penalties of the cars around them. So it does make it a bit easier for these guys. They don't have to be asking Jeff all the time. Cedric having a bit of a slide there behind Shapalele. He did look as though he was putting him under pressure for a bit there. And Ferreira has dropped back from those guys, so that might give Compassion a chance in the racing point to maybe get onto the back of Ferreira, who did put in some great performances last season in the I believe he was in the racing point actually last season, did pick up a few podiums during his half season, so maybe we might see some more from Ferreira. Still early days yet, M Short still looking good. That gap is stabilising though at this moment in time by about 1.5 seconds. Compassion not with the best exit there, coming through turn 12 and not able really to get close enough to the back of Ferreira to really make any move at this stage in the race. Dynastics really closing up on the back of Seb Vet. There's a tyre difference between these mediums on the Haas, hards on the Ferrari. Can't get that move done at this moment in time, and there is Louis behind them. Those are the last cars that are yet to pit. Oh, as Dynastics has gone straight into the back of the Haas car. I don't think Seb will be very happy about that whatsoever. Dynastics completely getting his braking wrong, just crashing into the back of the Haas.
Yeah, that was not good from Dynastics. I'll just look back though, because I didn't really see it, because I was looking at multiple different screens there for a slight moment. I just look back at that now. Let's just see. Oh yeah, that's poor. Just braking much later than Seb Vet, and not gonna lie, it did look like Dynastics was making the corner there. I wouldn't be surprised if Seb Vet did put him into the steward's office, that Dynastics would get a small penalty for that. That was a bit of a punt off there, but it did look like Dynastics was quicker on his hard tyres, which is interesting, because his mediums aren't supposed to be slower than the hard tyres just yet. Maybe the softs could be slower than the mediums at the moment, but we'll just have to see from how good Lars is compared to Faz, who may I say has fallen quite far back a little bit. He's fallen down 3 places, so he's really just not enjoyed this race so far.
No, Faz has dropped a few places as well. Not the best start for him as we do get the position changes. You can see he lost 3, the biggest loser, unsurprisingly, Black Phoenix, having to change his front wing on lap 1, losing 10 places, and Pat could have been in a fantastic place right now. He started in that magical 11th place, as there we go, Shapalele gets a penalty for cutting his way into their pit lane. That seems a bit harsh. Oh, we've got a yellow flag, we've got a spinner on the pit straight, and that is Compassion facing the wrong way, thankfully. Ghosting is on, because that makes this a lot less awkward than it would otherwise be. He's broken his front wing as well at the worst possible place. He's down into 16th.
Yeah, well, Compassion there making that big mistake then, and it looks like we're not going to see much of Compassion for this race anymore, because I believe he's got heavy wing damage down there in 14th. Doesn't look too bad, actually. Going on board with him, it doesn't look too bad, but he is going to be marginally slower, and he's lost a lot of time as well, right at the back of that grid now, excluding the guys who have pitted now. So for compassion, I think this race is almost said but done at the moment, unless of course we get what everyone would love to see, a safety car or virtual safety car, which always seems to spice up the grid. Name changes looking all right at the moment, not looking like he's going to be passing Lorenz anytime soon, but he's definitely giving Lorenz a little bit of pressure, because Lorenz was going a bit wide out the exit the corner there. And Lars again, another penalty. He needs to sort out this if he wants to be winning races again like he did in Bahrain, and Pat now picks up a penalty. So a lot of guys getting penalised for cutting corners. So interesting. Lorenz comes into the pits then early on, really. So he's obviously doing soft hard. I wouldn't expect the medians to go all that distance. I'm wondering what M Short and Name Changer are going to do in response.
Yes, how long will they be before they come into the pits? And I was expecting the soft runners maybe to just go lap 8 or lap 9. Those on the mediums probably around lap 13 when they decide to come into the pits. M Short, though, where he has been all race, about 1.6 seconds ahead now of Name Changer Joey, the only other driver yet to pit. And you can just see Compassion falling down the order. He's going to have his pit stop, front wing change, hard tyres going on. Could well come out in last position after this. How could it have been so different if he hadn't made that mistake on the pitch straight? The battle for 4th, 5th and 6th then, and it is still Flying Finn, Zach and Ginger lying astern with the 2 Ferraris behind them. Dynastics might have a potential cloud over him, but he's not doing too bad at the moment. He is ahead of a couple of medium tired runners as Lewis there picks up a penalty. Dynastics must be feeling a bit comfortable at this moment. He knows in the next few laps those mediums will start to wear off and this race is going to start coming to him.
Yeah, I mean, the positive thing about Dynastics is he's not exactly losing time. And also the good thing is his teammates helping him out a little bit. The more he sticks in this DRS, as he's just gone out of it, if he sticks within this 1 second, he gets that DRS, and that's going to propel him along. As for if he's out of it, of course, Lewis is going to be very close to him in the next couple of laps. But it looks like they're playing the team game Ferrari here, and perhaps Benny is... No, I would say he's lifting a little bit, but I wouldn't have said he's pushing too much, just to keep Dynastics within that second, just to keep propelling him along, because it looks like he's in the more comfortable position at the moment. He does have a penalty though, but so do a lot of guys on this grid already, so expect to see more penalties towards the end. In fact, I probably expect to see everyone but 3 or 4 guys perhaps to get penalties towards the end of this race.
Yes, and the battle for the lead of this race could have just got a lot more exciting. M Short has pitted from the lead, and the undercut nearly working for Lorenz and Chapelele. Look how close they are all of a sudden to the back of that McLaren. It's only a battle for 10th place, and a bit like in real Formula 1, the top 10 do score points. Slight difference though here. You get 16 points for a win, then 12, 10, 8, 6, down to 1 for the 10th position, and you also get a point for the fastest lap if you are inside the top 10. Now this could be interesting for Lorenz. He's just got to try and manage his tyres. It looks like he's struggling a bit in the dirty air, but that pitting earlier has definitely helped him quite a lot to get up to the back of M Short. It's helped Chapelele as well. He was right behind the Williams, and he'd have probably been fancying a move on Lorenz. Now that he's third man in that DRS train, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Yeah, well, I think it's going to be very difficult also for M Short at the moment, because beforehand he was quite comfortable as Name Changer comes into the pit, so it's going to be interesting to see now where he comes out, because he may be losing a couple of positions here for this, but he comes out on the medium tyres, so this is a bit of a risk that Name Changer has taken, I suppose. I would have expected him to go out, take it a little bit longer if he's to go on the mediums. He'll be now under pressure from Cedric just behind, and Cedric should be able just to challenge him a little bit, but he's already out of ERS, which has kind of screwed him up a little bit. But yeah, like I said, M Short is going to be under so much pressure right now, because these guys are going to the end like himself, and it doesn't look like these tyres are going to drop off on those hard tyres towards the final lap. So if Lorenz does get past and Lorenz does put in a good performance in this next lap or two, we could be seeing M Short struggle a little bit. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how it goes, because they might soon even be catching up. Not quite yet, they might be catching up to Vet in the next few laps, but we'll just have to see. So Joey then in the Mercedes in the lead of a race, and that's quite a common thing to see in Formula 1. He's currently 2.4 seconds ahead of Lars, Zach and Ginger, who will just be reeling him in. So you would expect Joey to come in at the moment. Very interesting that we have seen Name Changer go for those medium tyres. That's not something I was expecting any of the soft shod runners to do at the start of the race. And we'll just stay on board with Joey then as he gets slowed down to that 60 kilometres an hour, about 37 miles per hour. Set of medium tyres for him as well. They will last, but you're going to have to do quite a lot of tyre management to have any decent pace towards the end, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of management involved, but I'm sure these guys know what they're doing and everything. They've probably done a lot more practice perhaps we would do so for a race weekend. You got to think these are some of the quickest guys on the game in some sense, of course. Probably not as quick as obviously the guys in F2 and F1, the reason why they are in a higher tier. But I tell you something now, the grid separation in terms of times, the difference is so minimal. Really, some of these guys at the top of F3 could possibly challenge the mid to back markers of F1, which is quite incredible if you think about it. I mean, interestingly now, Joey has fallen behind Faz and Ferreira. I don't know where he was beforehand. I think he was roughly whereabouts these guys were, but he's lost a lot of time to them going those extra laps on the softs. Look at Name Changer. He's now right behind Chapelele. So Name Changer looks to be making some moves in a minute, so let's just keep with him for now.
Yeah, we are on board then with Name Changer on those medium tyres, and for this strategy to work, he's got to get ahead of the 3 cars ahead of him at the moment, and then either build a gap enough so he can pit again, or build enough of a gap so when those tyres start falling off, he's got enough of a margin to maybe stay in touch with this race. What could help him is the fact that he has no penalties at this moment in time. Chapelele has 6 seconds, and Lorenz has 9 seconds, and we are seeing a good run here from Name Changer out of the final corner. Can he get it done into turn 1? No, thinks better of it. Not really enough of a braking zone to have a move into turn 1. It's more important just to get it right through 1 and 2 to have a good run into 3, and it doesn't look like Name Changer has done that on this occasion, unfortunately for him. Out in the lead of this race though, it is still Flying Finn at this moment in time, still holding off Zach and Ginger for now. Imagine next couple of laps we'll start to see these guys coming to the pits.
Yeah, they're controversial ones, these top guys are, because those mediums probably could go around 18 laps or something. I doubt anyone would like to stretch it that long, as Chapelele was looking for a move, may have exposed him a little bit here, as here comes Name Changer, and he's just going to sit back and wait. But these top guys on the medium tyres, they've got a choice here. They could go long and risk potentially a lot of time and pace and be on the softs at the end, which would be much quicker, which I do know for a fact are much, much quicker, as we saw in F10, if anyone watched the commentary of that. Jack Tyler was blisteringly quick compared to the hard tyres. Or they could just do the simple thing, go on to the hard tyres, and I suppose try and do something interesting. But, I mean, the reverse strat is what it's called, so I wonder if that is exactly what these medium runners are thinking. Medium soft? Well, could be a possibility.
It's possible the mediums are going to be very worn out at the end of that. Chapelele's had a big moment there. That is all the invitation that Name Changer needed to work his way up into 9th place. Just a small mistake then from the Alpha Tauri driver, and he is now down into 10th. Cedric tried to get close enough to really take advantage of that, but was unable to do so. So Chapelele down to 10th. That's one car out of the way of Name Changer. He's now got to try and dispatch with Lorenz Dienzesti and then M Short, and then build his way up the lead of this race. Further back, there's a pretty close battle in as well. Ferreira currently in 12th without any penalties, just behind these drivers, with Faz there in 13th. Then it is Joey Lakitu, Black Phoenix, Gunainen. As I say, Faz doesn't have a penalty. He goes up and picks one straight away. Gunainen 17th, Sebvet 18th, Pat is 19th.
Lorenz went well wide at the end of the S section, went onto the grass. Name Changer though just isn't close enough to get Lorenz. Lorenz makes another mistake to the outside, going side by side through here. Name Changer's on a mission. He goes through and now into 8th place. I'm sorry to interrupt you on that point, but Lorenz just started to feel a little bit of the pressure now. Yeah. Oh, he's broke. No, he's out. He's out of the race. Oh no, he's gone too wide. That is very, very harsh there from the wall. I must say, he went a little wide, tapped the wall, and that's his wheel straight off, and he's out of the race. Is that a safety car or something, or a VSC? Not going to be, it don't look like it, but that is bizarre. I wasn't expecting that, and all these guys going through him, he didn't exactly go, so kind of gave them a little bit of a scare there. One of the McLarens weaving to the right there, but yeah, that was very, very harsh from the wall there. He went a little bit wide, tapped the wall, and I thought he just got a bit of wing damage. Note his wheel went flying off as well, so very, very unfortunate for Lorenz, and that may have ruined the potential podium.
Ooh, a Ghanaian has had a spin as well. He's made contact with the wall, so I think he was battling with Seb Vett and Pat at the time. Safety, that has caused a safety car. Wow. With a bit of debris on the track, we get a safety car. There's a Williams parked in the middle of the circuit with 3 wheels. Oh, and Ghanaian's just understeered into the wall there. A bit like what I think it was Kubica in 2009 when he had damage, ironically after making contact with Sebastian Vettel. Now this is perfect for those that run the medium tyres. They're just going to come in now, put a set of the hards on. They might not come out ahead of M-Short, but they're still going to be a long way up through the field. One person who it's maybe not the greatest for is Dynastics, because he'll come out on the mediums. Although, there's all sorts of slamming the brakes on the way into the pit lane. That makes it a bit awkward as well. Who is going to end up coming out in the lead of this race? It is still going to be M-Short and then Name Changer. This obviously helps him get his tyres to last a bit longer. But where is Flying Finn and the rest of these drivers going to come out on their fresh set of tyres? They are currently, I think they're going to come out then in 7th place because there is such a big margin. That's worked out fairly well for them. All you need sometimes is that little bit of luck. Dynastics losing out because he was so close to the back of his teammate, obviously. And Benny, Lewis and Ferreira all going for a set of soft tyres. Now, surely you're not getting those to last to the end and have good pace on the final few laps.
I don't know. I agree about the latter bit. They won't probably have good pace at the end, but I feel they will be able to make it to the end. This safety car has come out at a complete golden moment, and I suppose it's a bit of a risk, I suppose, but it's come out a golden moment for these guys because they do, they will make the end, Sauce. They will not probably be that good towards the end, but they can slice their way through the field. And we do have to remember this is Australia. This isn't the easiest track to overtake. But if they are able to slice through the field, we could be looking at Benny looking to get a P1 here. But interestingly right now, M-Short and Name Changer are both in a really good position as well here. They both only have, they both only have 1 warning here in the entire race. So it is unlikely they will possibly get a penalty, which is good to see. Zach is in a good position, but that is if he can keep that position from the soft tyres behind. But really, it's an interesting position now because there's a lot of unpredictability in this, because Name Changer probably has the tyre advantage on M-Short. Them mediums will make it to the end. This is probably what Name Changer would have wanted. He would have wanted a safety car at this point just to make sure that his mediums will make it to the end. And I tell you what, the performance on those mediums will probably not die out by the end of the safety car, because of the 2-lap difference then in the tyre wear. So I really do think Name Changer's got a brilliant shot at winning his opening race.
Yeah, he's in a good position all of a sudden, and any worries he would have had about getting those tyres towards the end should fade. Any fuel worries the drivers had as well should fade, so we might see a few more of them going into the rich mode. And like we said, those who haven't got penalties, this is a big help for them. We've got the penalty list at the moment. It is only our top 2, Zach and Black Phoenix, all the way down in 15th after his first lap shenanigans. He's in 15th at the moment, but he himself doesn't have any penalties, and he's put a fresh set of the medium tyres on. Seb Vett comes into the pits now for a fresh set of tyres, so this is just going to delay the safety car a tiny bit longer, which will, of course, help all those on the mediums of the soft tyres that have any worries about getting towards the end. Won't help those on the hard tyres. And those on the hards as well, they struggle to get up to temperature more under a safety car. We saw that yesterday with Valtteri Bottas versus George Russell. Old hard tyres are not what you want to be on behind a safety car.
Well, interestingly, obviously the tyres light up on the medium tyres. Everyone around Name Changer's on the hard, so it's going to be interesting to see what his restart is going to be like, because M-Short will need to get this perfect here. He's in control. He technically will be the safety car when the safety car comes in. It will probably come in this lap, because Seb Vett is closing and closing quickly. He's not slowing down at all, trying to get temperatures into those hard tyres. I mean, if he's just pitted, I don't know why he's gone into hard tyres, to be honest. I would have opted to go on to mediums or even softs at this point, but you know, whatever floats your boat. At the moment, M Short in a good position. However, he needs to make sure those tyres are nice and warmed up, and he has to be alerted here because the safety car could peel into the pits, because here comes Seb Vet now. He's joined the back of this train. Is the safety car coming in this lap? There it is. He's coming in this lap then. And oh, he's got very close to name changer. I'm hoping he hasn't got wing damage to the Alfa Romeo, but M Short needs to do this perfectly. He needs to release perfectly at the right time, and here he goes. He's going to get underway back for this race, and name change has been caught napping by Miles. Look at that. M Short has done that absolutely perfectly. Name changer losing tons of time, and same as Chapelele as well. Everyone has been caught napping behind name changer. M Short's done that absolutely perfectly. That was out of time, and he's in the lead of this race by a fair long distance now.
Yeah, everything working out absolutely fantastically there for M Short. We have still got interestingly yellow flags showing, which I'm not sure is a visual glitch on my end, because we have got Faz and Joey battling, but we'll see if any penalties do come
Chapelele.
Oh yeah, Chapelele seems to have disconnected slightly there, and I'm not sure if he's made a slight mistake. Yeah, he's left the session, so Chapelele has left the session, and if he can't get back in, that's a nightmare for him. And those yellow flags weren't imaginary, because Benny's just got a 5-second penalty for ignoring them. So the safety car came in, but it was like we were under some sort of weird virtual safety car for a second there.
Everyone's leaving.
Yeah, everyone is leaving the session, so I'm not sure if there's been some sort of connection issue that is going on here, but it's kind of...
Oh, no. The third one's left now.
I mean,
Great job.
The only reassuring thing from my point of view is that you're having this happen as well, and it's not my internet deciding that it doesn't fancy working again. But anyway, out at front of the field, it is M Short, 1.5 seconds ahead at the moment. And yeah, I think it is Flying Finn has got the same error as Ginger and Chapelele. That is just so unlucky. Hopefully, they'll be able to get back into the session, because they weren't looking too bad of a situation at the moment. M Short in the lead though. Name changer is third. Cedric and Joey, the two Mercedes, third and fourth at this moment in time. Zach, without his penalties, in fifth place. But what a restart from M Short, and name changer caught Chapelele napping as well. We don't know if that was maybe a problem on Chapelele's end, but they were 3 seconds ahead of the third place car after one corner.
I just think everyone was caught napping off that restart except from M Short. It was a brilliant restart for M Short. He just got it off the exit of the corner and just thought, yeah, I'll go. When I'm assuming name changer wouldn't have thought that. He would have thought it would be on the main straight that M Short would go. M Short went relatively early, and I thought name changer would be given a brilliant opportunity out the final corner, because of course he's on those medium tyres. But I guess not. Name changer was caught like he was asleep pretty much. I expected him to lose a little bit of time, be around 5 or 6 tenths behind, but no, he lost a complete second to that and almost was 2 seconds down. But this is interesting now. He's now closing in, and obviously the grip on those medium tyres are going to be better than those hards for the first few laps. So we will get to see this big battle between these two for the lead. But looks like Cedric has fallen behind Joey, now looking for a good place to get in the podium position here. So brilliant start for the season for the Mercedes here in third and fourth.
Yes, and it might be worth them swapping around, because like you said, the hard tyres not as good as the mediums at this point. So will we see any team orders? Faz has dropped a long way down the order. He's dropped behind Benny and Louis just because they're on the soft tyres. He is on the hard, so he's struggling a bit at this moment in time. He's now got Ferreira trying to close into him, but he's not able to make the gap up at this moment in time. And then Dynastic's not too far behind either. And this has, like we said, it's brought Lakito and Black Phoenix into things after their issues on lap 1, getting damage and broken foot wing as well for Lakito and Black Phoenix respectively. It's really helped them catch up to these guys for safety car, and they could well be rewarded. What is getting very interesting at the front though is name changer is so close to being within DRS range of M Short, and that completely changed the complexity of this race here. If name changer can catch up to M Short, then overtake him, and then maybe pull a bit of a gap before those mediums start to wear, he has got a fantastic chance of taking a victory here in the Alfa Romeo. He's within 9 tenths of a second, so he won't be close enough for an overtake next time around, but maybe a lap or two after that we might be able to see it, as Ferreira down the inside of BRT Faz gets that move done with soft tyres, giving him the grip he needs. But you can just see the tyre deltas there. He's already lost 1.5 seconds to Benny, Louis and the rest of the guys in front.
Yeah, and Benny looking very close to Zach. The only thing keeping him alive really is that DRS to Joey, and there was a slight moment with the thing where you led, so I didn't hear. That's why I went, oh, if anyone didn't hear that or so. But anyway, looking at the back, then the only thing keeping Benny alive is sort of the DRS here, because Louis is very close as well. But really interestingly, this battle for third place between the two Mercedes, Cedric is not giving up that position at the moment. In fact, it's helping Zach be drawn in, and you know, at all times this is going to be a big train. And well, we've got some interesting battles coming towards the end of this race. Are the soft tyres drivers going to make it up to the podium? Is Name Changer going to win this race then? He is 4 attempts behind as well, so a lot of things still to determine in the end of this race.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pace all of a sudden as Name Changer. He needs to get this move done as quickly as possible, though, with 10 laps remaining. He is closing up. Cedric defending from his teammate Joey at the moment, and Joey looked as though he was going to send a move into turn 3, was unable to get that move done, and still you've got Zach, Benny, Louis just behind. Faz now defending from his teammate, and again you'd imagine it would make sense for team orders to just let Makito go and see if he could catch up to those soft shod runners up ahead of him as their tyres start to run out. We've still got 18 runners in this race. Gunainen, who retired, well, his broken front wing caused for safety car, then he retired, and Lorenz a crash on the pit straight as there we go for the lead of the race. Name Changer getting past M Short, just so easy into turn 1.
Yeah, I didn't really see how he did it. I didn't kind of check that. I was looking away. I didn't realise he was going to go for a move there, because turn 1 isn't exactly the most original one. But I tell you what, he's got the move done, and look at him. He's blasted off to the future, it looks like, at the moment. I'm still surprised these soft drivers haven't got by at the moment, because the soft tyres seem to be far superior to the hards from what I can remember. But Benny's just sticking behind Zach, and I mean, like I said, this is probably just down to the fact that Joey is still battling with Cedric, and still Zach is getting the DRS here, and perhaps Benny has missed his opportunity. Same with Louis and Ferreira. So in a big train at the moment, this will be interesting towards the exit here. Much better exit from Benny. Has he got the opportunity? Both still have DRS. Doesn't have enough overtake though to pursue the move, and that's what I mean. Benny has no overtake left. May have made a little mistake there, but didn't open the door for MNT Louis. But he's looking very close. Is he going to send it to the inside? This was half-hearted, but not a full move right there. So a lot of close battling between these soft tyre drivers, and now they've lost a lot of time to Zach again, so they'll have to make it up. And look at that, Ferreira losing the position to Makito. So the soft tyres are starting to go on the cars that have got the soft tyres on the mediums, are really starting to get in the groove.
Yeah, I think if that had been a couple of laps before, Benny would have had the confidence on the brakes into turn 13 to get the move done on Zach. But like you said, the medium tyre, or the soft tyres I should say, are just wearing out, and the medium's now probably looking like the ones to be on if you pitted under the safety car. 8 laps remaining then, and M Short still in contact of Name Changer and might still get a chance in the final few laps. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. We'll get the penalty situation up once again. At the moment, Zach is currently on to get 3rd place, with Cedric having 9 seconds of penalties, Joey having 6 seconds, Black Phoenix keeping it clean as well, and look at all the penalties ahead of him. He could jump up from 12th position to 4th position, which would definitely be one of the biggest jumps because of penalties that I have seen. That's if the race ended now. We do still have 7 and a bit laps remaining. There's still plenty of time for a few different position changes. We'll go back to that battle then behind Zach at the moment. Benny not as close as Zach this time around, and they are all just stuck behind Cedric. You get the feeling Joey has perhaps missed his opportunity to get away, because on those mediums, he might have been able to catch up to M Short even.
Almost certainly, he's missed an opportunity big time, and Cedric has defended quite rigorously, and he's kept it into 3rd place. I was kind of surprised, really, because obviously as teammates, they probably want the best for their team, and like you said, it probably would have been a likely scenario that Joey would have caught up to the back of M Short. So I'm wondering if Cedric is being a bit selfish here and going for the podium himself, because he doesn't want to give up that position. But at the end of the day, inevitably, these two do have quite a few penalties, and they're going to concede to Zach. If they did do the swap, then perhaps for the team anyway, Joey could have And I say could as very cautious as I can. He could have perhaps got away from Zach enough to get himself on that podium. Obviously, that's a very unlikely scenario, but now that whole opportunity is completely lost now because Cedric has played the selfish game. It looks like he wants to get that third place on track, doesn't really want to play the teammate game, and you know, Joey's been left stranded at the moment because he's now fallen back quite far and lock up again there. So I think we're now just about ready to see this crossover point where the hards will slightly become a little bit quicker than some of the mediums like Joey's and name changes, depending on how well they've treated their tyres.
Yeah, it all depends on the individual styles of the drivers, like you said, with the issues with the tyre management, as Sam appears to have left us ever so slightly, so hopefully we'll be able to get him back into the session. Compassion manages to get ahead of Pat there, so Compassion now up into 30th place, and it does seem like there are a few bugs affecting F1 2020 tonight, so it may, hopefully, fingers crossed, none of the other drivers will be affected, especially these front two. I mean, imagine if M Short has another disconnection after what happened to him in the pre-season race last week.
Yeah, and I've got an error code. I cannot get back into the lobby, and I think this is why Ginger and Lars, etc., cannot get back in, I'm afraid. So it looks like, in terms of action for myself, possibly this is a done deal, which is really, really sad. I don't know, though. I will try and get back in as much as I can, though.
Yeah, we will see what is happening then. So M Short then in second place at the moment, just over 5 laps to go. Can he close up to the back of Name Changer? Will Name Changer's mediums have enough pace to hold off M Short if he goes for that attack? He seemed to be able to get past him straightforward enough, but hasn't been able to really move any further forward than that. And here we go on board with Pat, so he's right at the back of this train. Everyone from Pat up towards, I believe, up towards Joey at this moment in time has the DRS, so one hell of a DRS train. Normally you see them early on in the races. Benny's made a slight mistake coming through turns 1 and 2, and this is exactly the chance that Louis needed. Can he go all the way around the outside on those old soft tyres? They're not going to have a lot of grip at this moment in time. Benny just gently squeezes him to the outside of the circuit, and now Lakitu's trying to go around the outside. He makes a bit of contact, and forever he's going to try and go around the outside, and again he makes a bit of contact, and after all that the positions stay as they are. They've just lost a bit of time. Black Phoenix then in 11th gets ahead of Dynastics, and I think Compassion managed to get ahead of Pat as well in all of that. Interestingly, Cedric is catching up to Joey. He's catching up to M Short all of a sudden. Probably not enough to have any effect on the lead battle at the end of the race, but you can tell his hard tyres are starting to come into their own, and you'd imagine that means M Short soon will think about making a move.
Yeah, and M Short getting very close and trying to follow as much as I can, but M Short obviously not losing time anymore to Name Changer, and I wonder if a move will be coming in the next couple of laps. He'll definitely be looking to close before the final lap, and I mean, I'm still trying to get back into the session. Hopefully I can, but apparently there's server issues, which is, yeah, it's really unfortunate for the drivers who obviously missed out, as in Lars, Ginger and Chapalele, of course, all missing out, which is such a shame for them, and I hope they... It's sad though, really, of why.
It's a shame. Yeah. It's a shame when it's something out of your control, and it's a big shame for Alpha Tauri because it's both of their drivers, Ginger and Chapalele, out, and who knows what we'd have seen Ginger and Flying Finn maybe do on the alternate strategy. And Chapalele was quite high up the order. He did have a few penalties, but you'd imagine he'd be in this battle right now for the final podium slot. We are going to look at back then from Name Changer with 3.5 laps to go as he just goes through turn 10 at the moment. M Short not really close enough on this lap. Just needs to set it up if he wants to go for that move. That safety car has definitely helped this one-stop strategy from softs to mediums be a bit more of the better one, as Joey has now picked up a penalty. We've seen Zach get a penalty as well, so it's only these top two and Black Phoenix that have kept it clean at the moment. This is going to be a very shuffled order towards the end of this race, and it's going to be quite tough, I think, for us to keep up. The back of the huge podium train then, 11 cars in this at the moment, as Pat in 14th place trying to recover from that lap 1 incident. It doesn't look like he will be scoring any points though at this moment in time, and because again what we saw earlier, even if you've got better tyres, you can't make the overtake, because Lakitu, his mediums are going to be so much better than Benny and Lewis, but because he's in a third car in the DRS train, not a lot he can do about it.
Yeah, there's too many trains, really. That's the problem, really.
Sorry to interrupt, Sam. Lewis gone for it down the inside of Benny, and this might be the chance Lakitu needs it again. Tries to go around the outside, and that gap's all of a sudden shut in, and Benny in the barriers, front wing wiped off.
Oh.
And that is the end of his race for getting any points, and also it's going to be the end of Black Phoenix's for getting any points, because he has also disconnected. I can never remember a session that has had this many, that has just had this many issues. It's such a shame for all of these drivers. M Short, though, still behind Name Changer, and he's not really closing up. It is staying around 7/10 of a second.
Yeah, I just saw Benny go into the wall there. That is really, really unfortunate for him. But yeah, it looks like times aren't really changing for M Short, unfortunately. It just doesn't seem to be going down, doesn't seem to be going up. I don't think we're the only one impacted in it. I'm looking at other chats and everything, and it seems like other tiers were affected, including F1, I think, was infected. I think that's been delayed, but I'm not gonna lie, this is embarrassing, to be honest. And Lars is asking, how can this count? This is actually quite a good question, to be honest. We have had a lot of things. I think this is a question that perhaps we will bring up, Lars. So, you know, I'm not sure what will happen. I'm not sure whether this will get cancelled or we'll have to do this again.
We've got great weeks around Christmas. A quarter of the grid is disconnected. I've seen Lorenzo's crash on Twitter. He didn't hit anything. His car just retired in the middle of the track. Is now... Oh! Faz has gone into the back of Louis all of a sudden. Benny retires from the session in the pits, and Faz is off the circuit. I'm not sure whether he's got a broken front wing, but yeah, I agree with Lars. This can't count. A quarter of the grid's had some sort of connection issue that has affected them. I mean, it's bad luck, obviously, for Name Changer and M Short, who've done such a fantastic job, but we'll have to wait and see. The decisions will be made by, you know, the admins and the directors and everything. But yeah, wouldn't surprise me if this becomes pre-season 2 in the end. I've seen someone saying they're interested about joining. If you can see there, the website, www.playstationgl.com, that will find a link to the Discord. The sign-ups are closed for this season, but there will be mid-season sign-ups opening shortly, so make sure to check that out. And we are going on to the final lap of the race, and still Name Changer has the lead of this race. Still those now 19-lap-old medium tyres are holding off the 20-lap-old mediums from M Short. Cedric's looking pretty safe for third out on track, but again, penalties could change everything. Lakitu, now that he's got some free air on those mediums, fastest lap of the race as Name Changer's ran out of ERS all of a sudden, and M Short getting really close to the back through turns 3 and 4, not able to get the move done there. Now, can he stay close through 5, 6 and 7? Got to be brave to go for a move into 8 and 9, so I can't see him going for it that time around. This is going to come down to, I think, the final DRS zone on the track, out of turn 12, onto that run, through into turn 13. So we're just going to have to wait and see how it goes. I think Pat has had a spin further down the field, a broken front wing for him, so again, he will be outside of the points, and this is definitely the closest M Short has been, and he's got himself a bit of ERS. Can he get a good enough run through 11 and 12? Name Changer's had a pretty decent exit there through 11, but here comes M Short in the McLaren. He's going to be forced a long way around on the final lap of the race. Can he get it done? On the brakes there, he can do, and Name Changer's around. Name Changer is around, and that might be a podium going away from him. I'm not sure if there was much contact between them. Such a shame, though, for Name Changer, who's driven a brilliant race, but in the end, not the least controversial race. I think we can say there's been a fair bit going off here, but M Short takes the win here in the first race of the season. Cedric crosses the line in second place, but Zach ends up taking second. Lakitu gets... Well, Name Changer actually still gets a podium. Name Changer, because he kept it clean, still manages to get a podium. So he's now in third. Lakitu fourth. Cedric fifth. Joey Ferreira, Faz, Dynastics. I'm not sure we've got the final point. We've seen Benny just leave the session there. It's quite an eventful evening, I think it's fair to say. And in the end, somehow, the bloke who started on pole after all what went on in that race ended up taking the victory.
Yeah, and I saw the incident. It didn't... Hold on. Back now, but really, I don't know, the incident looked like a bit of a it seemed like a bit of a racing incident to me. I don't think it's really M Short's fault there. He has to go for the moves when they count, and it looked like a bit of a subtle touch, but that's about it. Nothing serious, and I think really at the end of the day, it was a fair move. So great job from M Short today to get onto those hard tires and really give it a go at the end, and obviously end up winning. Shame for Name Changer though, obviously, who was very close to potentially winning his first race and the first race of the season, which is quite unfortunate.
Yeah, such a shame for him. We will go through the results then, as the game has now picked that exact point to now kick me out of the session. So the results from that race, as I've got it paused on my iPad here at just the right time. M Short taking the victory from Zach, Name Changer. So close to taking a win, so close to taking second place, but in the end, that spin costing him. He finished in third. Lakita was fourth, Cedric fifth, Joey in sixth, Ferreira was seventh, Faz was eighth, Dynastics ninth, Louis picking up the final point in 10th. Then it was Seb Vet, Compassion, and then we had obviously Black Phoenix, Ginger, Lars, Shapalele, Benny as well, I think, all with connection issues. And then we saw Gonain and Lorenz retire early on. As we were saying, so much drama happening in that race. It's just a shame that it was plagued with the connection problems.
Yeah, no, I mean, there will probably be some sort of thing with Big C, obviously the person who runs PSGL, runs the show as the director. He probably will be debating whether we will have to delay this to another week here in Australia, because although it was a brilliant race from M Short, brilliant race from all the guys here tonight who were able to finish, I think it was rather disfortunate, wasn't it, to be honest, the fact that they probably didn't get the chance, the guys who disconnected, that is, probably didn't get the chance to show what they could do. Lars, for example, looked promising, his race did, then he disconnected when the safety car came about, and, well, yeah, at that point, it was a bit chaotic, wasn't it? A bunch of guys leaving. I think it was Shapalele, the first one was, then it was Ginger, then it was Lars, and then obviously furthermore we had a few more disconnections, including myself and including yourself as well in the end there. So yeah, shame on the servers really going down there, and I'm hoping this doesn't happen in future. And yeah, like I said again, it looks like Lars and Ginger both want the race to be cancelled, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's quite a fair claim, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the only people who's not going to want that race cancelled is M Short. He did everything brilliantly. Fantastic start to the race from him. And that safety car restart, he was more than a second ahead before he'd even exited the final corner. He just got it absolutely nailed on.
Yeah. Well, I can't really say, to be honest. It was quite difficult for me to watch in the end. Really, I couldn't really watch because I was a bit behind, wasn't it? So it was, you were saying things, I was like, next minute, yeah. It was, I had to wait and see, and then it was a late reaction from myself. But yeah, it's just a shame, really. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah, no worries. We are going to get a driver in for an interview at this moment in time, and it is going to be the winner of the first race of the season. We'll have to see if it stands, because I know there was quite a few different issues going on with the game tonight, but still a fantastic performance from the winner of the first race of the season and the pole sitter. It was M Short. A great job from yourself to take that win and keep a calm head with everything that was going on.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Yeah, it was a great quali, and then I was sort of hesitating with the strategy whether to go mediums or hards, then decided to go hards because if I stayed up to where Name Changer went, then I would have been in net third rather than net first still. So I had to do that. But then, yeah, it was pretty hard to keep Name Changer behind with the mediums, but then just let him pass. And yeah, last lap move, there was contact, but to me, there was just enough space, but the lobby was really, really laggy, so I can't tell at the moment. And I'm sorry to him if there wasn't enough, but yeah, great first race.
Yeah, fantastic first race, and you've shown great race in this one and in the pre-season race as well, because you were looking really good there, apart from the disconnection issue. Were when you saw like all the tiers, did you think that you had a chance of maybe getting the championship in this tier? I know it's still very early days, but with the 2 races you've seen, you've been near the front in both of them.
Yeah, seeing the grid that I'm against, it's a pretty competitive, competitive grid. So I thought I could be up there, and always, obviously, you got to think you're going to win, or there's no point even trying. But yeah, I'm just happy that I've had 2 good results. Well, almost a good result in the pre-season, and a win in here. So hopefully, I can challenge for the title in the end.
Yes, I'm sure that's the aim of everyone. We're just getting the calendar up now, so obviously 12 races this season. Is there any in particular that you're looking forward to, and is there any in particular you're thinking, oh, I really wish I weren't on the calendar?
I'm really looking forward to next week, Silverstone, and probably Suzuka as well. I think that'll be fun. And let me just have a look at this. Oh, France. Not looking forward to that. And maybe Monaco. You never know what's going to happen there, so we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, Monaco, always unpredictable. Sam, do you have any questions for our race winner?
Yeah, quick question. I know obviously you've won this race. You've obviously finished the entire race as well. It could be stripped away from you, obviously down to the servers. Would you accept that, or would you be quite? Would you protest about that? In any chance?
Well, yeah, I would be pretty disappointed. I did see people leaving and was wondering, oh no, last lap I'm going to get kicked out, aren't I? Luckily it didn't, but yeah, I would be pretty disappointed if it did. But also, thanks Codemasters for having this great servers. But yeah, it's just unfortunate for those people that did disconnect. So I don't really blame them if something does happen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There's no more questions.
Yeah, once again, great performance from yourself again in the end to take the win, and yeah, maybe we'll be hearing from you again soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, like you were saying there, Sam. Just a shame with everything that's happened, but no taking away obviously from M Short. A brilliant job from him to again keep his head and take the victory. Yeah,
brilliant result for M Short, and obviously. I like how he said he explained the whole thing on the final lap, like very mature from the driver there, and obviously you don't want to see drivers denying someone.
No more ABS for me. But line, yeah.
Apologies for that. Well, carry on, Sam.
It's all right. Don't worry.
Well, we have now got the guy who did finish second place in what was, I think it's fair to say, quite a crazy race at the end, and that is Zach. Zach, congratulations on getting a second position in what was quite a chaotic race.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what happened to all those guys who disconnected. I mean, Ginger disconnected, Shape disconnected, so many guys. I don't even know what happened. Do you know? I
think it was... In the end, I've got it up to 5 drivers plus Sam. So, and we think it's happening across all tiers. So we think there's been a connection issue. So, our next question.
Oh, on all tiers. So not only in F3.
Yeah.
All tiers.
Oh wow.
So next question.
So it's a game issue then. Wow.
Yeah, you finished second in that race. How would your reaction be if you find out that race is all of a sudden cancelled and rerun later in the season?
I mean, I wasn't even believing to get points in this race. My pace is not good enough to beat all those guys. I mean, the top 10 was so fast, way too fast for me. But, you know, I did my own race. I was in a little train with Flying Spin, Ginger on mediums, and then the safety car happened, and everything came to life for me. And so I was on new tires. And yeah, the pace was pretty good, to be honest, and at the end I was on no penalties. I got 1 penalty at the end, unfortunately, but yeah, with only 1 penalty I jumped maybe 2 or 3 guys on the line, and that's me on the podium. That's I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, it shows how important it is to keep it clean. And was that a tactic of yours, thinking maybe I've not quite got the outright pace, so if I just concentrate on getting no penalties I could gain a few places at the end?
Exactly. I mean, I was stuck behind Flying Fin during 15 laps, and So I said to myself, okay, just follow him, DRS train, no penalties. So I got like 1 or 2 warnings in 15 laps, and then just 1 warning in the penultimate lap. Sorry. So yeah, that was my tactic, and it worked out quite perfectly.
Yeah, good job from yourself today. Sam, any questions for the man who ended up taking a second position here then?
I do have a question, really. This is a question that I failed to ask. I should have asked this to M Short as well. Have you got any? Well, obviously this is only the first round, but have you got any sort of expectation of where you want to be in the championship this year? Like, do you reckon you'll be in the hunt to win it, or do you just reckon...
Not at all. I can tell you, impossible to win it. I hope to get a few points here and there. Look, you can see my pace today. I mean, I was P14, I think, in quali. It was my pace. I did a 19.0 and I was pretty happy about it. But there's so many guys who are fast on this tier. It's unbelievable. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get a few points in a few races, but yeah, to get a podium is really unexpected for me. And yeah, but I won't fight for the championship. Don't worry.
Well,
I don't have the pace.
We'll never really know, of course. It's only the first round, but you never know, really. Luck could be on your side. And, you know, when it comes to these tiers, all the cars are equal. You've all got an equal opportunity to perform. And at the end of the day, as they say, consistency is key. So, you know, who knows? You could be the F3 champion come the end of the season. But I think
Impossible.
P2 is a good start. I wouldn't say impossible when you get in the second place on the podium. So,
Actually, I would have said that it was impossible to get a podium on this race. So you're right. You're right.
Yeah, nothing's impossible. Sky's the
Yeah.
limit, you know. I wouldn't ever limit yourself to any possibility, but congratulations on P2.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations to Zach then on that fantastic second place. As you said, Sam, the sky's the limit, and after tonight's performance in the first part of the stream, which I do apologise for, Sky might be my internet provider in the future. But a dramatic race around Australia, not the easiest circuit to overtake on. And next time around, Silverstone, again, despite the high-speed nature, because there's not really too many heavy braking zones, not the easiest circuit again. But, as we both know, weather can always play a part in Britain.
Oh god, yeah, weather is most certainly a big factor in Britain. This track also sometimes sees a bit of weather. Don't think we've seen any rain in many divisions. I may be wrong because we may have had some tonight in some divisions. I think I had some actually when I was commentating earlier last week. But I mean, interestingly, Britain though is more likely to see rain in the qualifying or in the race, and I think it will cause the racing to be a whole lot different to what we see today. And not only the weather conditions tend to be more inconsistent or a little bit more unpredictable, I suppose. We've also got to think the racing is more open at Silverstone than what it is here at Melbourne. So a lot more overtaken opportunities around that track as well. And obviously a lot more iconic sort of corners at the British Grand Prix as well. So really going to be an exciting one next year. And I think last season we had a really good race in Britain as well. So we'll just have to wait and see. But, you know, Britain is a very good track for a lot of drivers, and a lot of drivers do tend to enjoy it.
Yeah, a lot of drivers do enjoy Silverstone. I enjoy it as a commentator as well, and hopefully we will have a fantastic race. If you do want to see some racing around Silverstone in PSGL, you're not going to have long to wait, just under 24 hours, because that is the Formula Performance League, and they will be kicking round 2 around there, and then the first equal performance leagues, F10 and F11, they will set off around Silverstone on Thursday, with some more action on Sunday and Monday as well. Thanks to Sam for joining me in the commentary box tonight. Thanks also to our partners here at PSGL Brutal Democracy, who are providing prizes to the top 3 in Xbox F1 and PlayStation F1, and also to the winner in F2. And thank you so much to all the viewers as well for being so active. I know it wasn't the easiest to follow with the different issues and disconnections, but we got there in the end. And in the end, M-Shot got there with a victory. Will he be able to follow it up next week? You'll have to wait and see to find out. Same time, same place, 7 p.m. on the PSGL YouTube channel. But for myself, Luke Etheridge, thank you so much for watching, and good night.